Hi everyone, I'm Frankie, your local Stockholm entrepreneur, and in this video I'm going to be answering some of the questions you guys left in the comments of my previous videos.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets, empty.
I thought about addressing them one by one as I had been doing it, but it's a lot of work and I decided to just make a summary of everything that I know and address directly your comments on this video. So I think that would be more insightful and we can share that knowledge with everybody that watches my videos. So I'm currently in my co-working space in my office recording this podcast. So in case you don't notice, this is a new podcast studio setup. I'm very excited to be bringing you more content that's high quality. So I think that deserves a round of applause, and we're going to be messing around a lot with these little sounds. So so that's one of the buttons on the sound mixer. Oh my God, we are 200 subscribers. Oh my God, I just saw that. It's crazy. Okay, well, that deserves another round of applause. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. I appreciate you guys. I hope I've been bringing some value to your day-to-day and to, in some way have contributed to you starting a business. I'm so excited to always bring you some new videos and share my knowledge with you. As always, I do like to point out, I am not an expert at entrepreneurship, but I like to think of myself as someone who loves to share the knowledge I've acquired, the skill set I've developed with the world. And part of that is really coming on this platform on YouTube and being able to talk to you guys and share my skill set and expertise and wisdom, I guess, in some way. So I'm so glad that we have reached 200 subscribers. And also I need to give a big shout out to my editor, Kika, who edits all of these amazing videos for me in a very short amount of time and with such high proficiency and talent in what she does. And I'm so grateful that she has been with me since the very beginning of our journey with this channel. So shout out to her. And if you want to support the work that we do, make sure to click the Buy Me a Coffee link because that's one way that I can help pay for her salary as well. So I really appreciate you all that have been along for the ride. And now I'm ready to answer some of your comments. So let's start. By the way, apologies if I completely mispronounce your handle or your name, but I'll try my best. So at Sarah Vorster 5389, you wrote, "Awesome video. You mentioned that if you open a business account with one of the big banks, they take a fee from the 25,000 SEK. Yeah, that is correct. So I'm wondering if you have any suggestions or smaller banks to do business with whom have smaller or no fees. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of banks that have no fees whatsoever. There are a few banks and different accounting softwares that perhaps would be able to open a bank account for you as a corporation, but then you would eventually have to pay some fees, let's say after the first year of operation. There are some software companies who provide accounting or bookkeeping who also offer these banking options, and some of those I'm going to show you in a minute. They typically don't take fees from the start. Sometimes they give you a 6-month no fee deal or promotion for new startups. But a new startup, in order for you to qualify, you have to be at least in your first year of business. If you've already surpassed the first year of business, then you're not technically a new startup. I've looked into the terms of this. So you can go to Visma Economy. They are a bookkeeping kind of situation. I'm going to just open up a bunch of them. Bookio is one that I've used for my freelance business when I was doing some freelance activities, and it can be for you who are consultants, graphic designers, any of you who just provide services or products by invoice, essentially, and by hour, for example, or project-based work. So this is an all-in-one for your business. That's what they're saying. They have bookkeeping services that are automated, so you can take pictures of your receipts. You can upload your invoices and everything gets automatically sorted into the right categories. They also account for the VAT, the value-added tax, the moms in Swedish. All of these things are already sorted in the bookkeeping system. So the software is pretty much like automated. But aside from the bookkeeping, they also do matching of the transactions, invoices, payments, and deposits from your bookkeeping side, they match it to what's happening in your bank account. So that's why some of these providers of accounting services also provide a bank service, because then they can actually directly link the mapping of the transactions to one another. So if I have a bank with Bookio or a bank account with Bookio as a corporation, then they can directly match that transaction list to the transactions I'm registering as invoices, payments, deposits, whatnot in my bookkeeping within the software, the same software. So that's why they started to offer that as well. So I'm going to just show you quickly starting a business. You can start as a limited company, limited liability company, or an aktiebolag in Swedish, or as a sole proprietor. But let's say that you are new, completely new, you have not started your business yet, and you're looking for a place to put your money in. You can go to this offer that they have, get a 6 extra month head start. And this means you get up to 6 months free when you sign up for a plan. In Bookio, you can easily handle both payments and bookkeeping yourself. So this is one thing that they offer for new businesses, and that's one way to save money. And here you see avoid paying for banking. Bookio includes a business account with a bank account, bank giro, and business card at no extra cost. So that is one way that you can actually afford free 6 months to have bookkeeping services connected already with a corporate bank account. But I don't always just like to give you one option. So Bookio is one option. I'm going to give you another one, and then I will keep this also saved in the description box below. In this video, you'll be able to access this link. Another option is Fortnox. Fortnox is also a bookkeeping software kind of situation. And if you are starting a company, you will be able to register your business by having a bank account digitally with them. They also offer bookkeeping services. It's exactly the same setup as Bookio, but they're a little bit more expensive, but they do help you with other services as well. So you have to go and make sure that you go into the details and do a comparison side by side of what is the offer they actually give you. I know as well that you can, for example, open up a bank account with Northmill as well, and you can apply through Fortnox. So that's what they're talking about here, the option. And then they make Northmill as a bank, as a digital bank. So they make the account, and then they just link it to your Fortnox bookkeeping account. So then it's all in one place as well. And you can get access to this digital bank account by going the Fortnox offer route. So that's another thing you can do. But you can also try Revolut Business. I will link a referral code for you guys below. The Revolut Business account would be a good place to start for trying to avoid extra fees. Business account pricing, usually they have a plan here, you see. So you can go here. This is business banking, a plan for every business. Yes, find your perfect fit. So they have different fees, but monthly fees to just keep things rolling. But these ones usually are the cheapest ones for those of you who have businesses that deal with international currency exchange. If you have to do a lot of foreign currency exchange, it might be beneficial for you, instead of having a normal Swedish bank account, to actually have a Revolut Business bank account, because you probably will be doing a lot of conversions and you don't want to lose money with all of the fees that typical banks would charge you for conversion rates. Just something to keep in mind. And I will also give you a link to this. By the way, all of these companies that I'm mentioning that have an option for online banking, bookkeeping, whatever it is, you can always ask for a free sales assessment or a demo. So don't hesitate to actually reach out to them for free, like without even signing up to anything, just to ask them questions. If you're the kind of person who gets scared by these tables comparing things, so just like if you just want to ask some simple questions, what are the costs? What are the hidden fees? What are the benefits of you versus your competitors? If you just want to ask those questions to these platforms, just book a free demo with them or talk to their sales team. They usually have some type, for example, here on Revolut Business, they have speak to sales. They usually have some type of form that you can fill out that they will reach out to you within the next couple of days to book a 15 to 30 minute call to answer all of your questions. So I think it's important that you utilize these free tools, because then you don't have to second guess yourself with what you're reading on the website. You can just get the confirmation directly from the staff members, the customer agents directly. There's also Visma. Visma also offers for företag. So they help you a little bit, all the questions you may have. You can book a sounding board. You can book a free consultation. When it comes to digital bookkeeping or online, software for accounting in Sweden, Visma used to be the standard. They used to be the best in the industry. Today, they're fine. They're one of the fine ones. They kind of got lazy about it. But Visma is, for example, one of my companies. I use Visma for our accounting because a lot of accountants in Sweden, if you want to ask for an external evaluation, for example, if you want to have a one-on-one with an accountant to give you advice on taxes and some of the things you're looking at in your bookkeeping, then most accountants in Sweden would be knowledgeable and have an understanding of how Visma works and how it looks, and they can actually go there and access it more easily. So I just wanted to let you know that being the standard, sometimes it has its benefits because most people would have been trained on that. So most accountants would know how to navigate Visma as a platform. If you do have already a bank account and you're just looking for a place to keep all of your accounting in order, Visma can be a good solution. I believe they don't provide bank accounts, but they do provide the integration. Whatever bank account you have, they would include that bank account's information and migrate it to their platform. And if you have employees, you can do a lot of your employee payroll through here as well. If you recently started your business, so meaning in less than a year, they will give you half price. That's some information about different types of digital banking services that have lower fees than the traditional banks. But you can always go to SEB, Handelsbanken. Once in a while, they come up with ways to encourage people to make an account through them. Those incentives often will include waiving all the fees from January through March or something like that, right? For example, I'm now at Handelsbanken and you can click become a corporate customer. Okay. And then let's just see. How much does it cost? Our business package costs $190 per year. Transaction fees are added separately. And then they have, if you want to have a bank giro, you have to pay extra 250 crowns per year. Okay, if you just start as a client membership, you have to pay 1,000 crowns for every account that you open up. As much as you want to save all the pennies, I agree, totally. Just try to go for one of the other, perhaps bookkeeping systems that also offer a digital bank account at no cost. And on top of that, have the advantage of giving you a discount or a deal, some type of deal on the first 6 months or a year of your business. So just go with one of the ones I showed previously. But yes, do your research. At the end of the day, I'm just some random person on the internet. So you should always ask for those demos, ask for a salesperson to talk to you, book that meeting. And a lot of these things, yes, they do take up your time, but they take up your time once when you start the business. That's the bureaucracy of it, right? But you do it once. If you do it right and you compare all the prices, it can save you money in the long run. So it is worthwhile for you to do all this research from the start. Aswin Goswami 1 asking me, what are the disadvantages if someone is the sole member of the company? Well, there's no disadvantages per se. The only problem is if you own the full aktiebolag, the full limited liability company, 100% of it is under your name. It's a very lonely road ahead. I don't recommend it. I feel that a lot of my fellow entrepreneur friends who are solopreneurs, who just start big corporation or a business or even a startup, and they realize pretty soon that they feel quite lonely and they feel like a lot of the responsibility is on them. Even I, as a majority shareholder in all of my companies, I feel that pressure. So I think that if you can avoid it, find nice co-founders. I made a video about how to find good co-founders. It just makes the journey a little bit easier and a little bit less lonely. I'm all about keeping things sustainable for yourself and for others. I mean, of course, you can start an aktiebolag, a limited liability company without any other members. But you do need, what I was mentioning in this video about how to register your LLC in Sweden was that you do need a deputy board member. So at least one other person to put on the application when you are registering the business. And I think that is just for matters of like, let's say you die, right? Like someone needs to make decisions over the board. But the deputy doesn't own any of the business. Otherwise, you can be 100% the sole equity owner in your company. Aside from the loneliness and the responsibility and the stress of being alone and running a business and having employees. And, eventually you have to prepare for success, not just for failure. Failure, okay, it's your failure, you move on. But for success, you need a lot of support and help. So I just don't advise going at it alone. And also, it's so much more fun if you have co-founders, if you have other people who are like-minded. But yeah, that's my answer to this question. Thank you. Thank you for your question. Hello, Frankie. I'm planning to start a small beauty shop. Will that allow me to extend my stay here in Sweden? Well, that depends on your situation. If you are a EU citizen, you definitely can extend your stay in Sweden for as long as you wish, and you can show proof of income through that business that you start. If you're not a EU citizen, a European Union citizen, then it would depend on your current visa. What's your visa right now situation, right? Did you come here on a study visa? Did you come here on a work visa? Did you come here on a sambo visa, partner visa? So depending on the visa you currently have, that will give you a segue, a path to other options as you start your own small business. I know a lot of people who, when they either have been laid off, so they were here on a work visa, for example, who need to find work quickly and they can't do it within the 3-month time frame that the government gives them, then they turn to consulting, for example, turning themselves into consultants so that they freelance their skills. And I know that you can convert like a work visa into like a sole proprietor or sole trader visa. For example, if you want to set up a aktiebolag, I know that at least 50% of the founders or of the shareholders, the equity owners, they need to be, at least 50% need to be Swedish residents or Swedish citizens. So if you are don't have permanent residency, or you're not a Swedish citizen, if you're opening up a limited liability company, an aktiebolag, then you would need someone else or a few other people to make up the majority of the company. And then you would be giving away most of the equity of your company to someone else. So maybe not an ideal situation. But if you're a freelancer, that's different because we're not talking about equity. We're talking about your skills, your time. So then that you can definitely convert from a work visa into a consultant or a freelance sole trader visa. Now, the details of this, guys, I am not an immigration lawyer. So please do not just like listen to me and think, oh, everything applies to me, because I'm not sure about your specific situation. So I would recommend you check out or consult with an immigration lawyer. And I'm actually going to link below someone that I think is capable of answering all of your questions in case you do have them still. So it's an immigration lawyer that I have trusted and that I know can address some of these questions that you guys are asking. So anybody who wants to contact him, please do so. Good luck, though, with starting your small beauty shop. I'm excited for you. And please do invite me when you open, okay? I would love to come and say hi. From @NatureGodVideos2674. Oh, I think it's the same person. Yes. Another lovely comment. Hello, Frankie. You're a real inspiration for newcomers like me in Sweden. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much for leaving that comment. It means a lot to me that people feel they can relate and be inspired by my journey. You know, it's not easy starting a business, but I think most days I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing that I'm so happy to share that with the world. I'm happy to share my journey. I'm happy to share my day-to-day. I'm so happy that you feel this way, that you feel that I am inspiring you in some way. Thank you so much for that comment. Next comment we have is, please guide me personally to start a sole trader in Sweden. Also guide me, how much cost will it take to register business from non-EU country, Pakistan? Okay, so first things first, I made a whole video about this. So step by step, how to do that. If you just want to become a sole trader here and you're coming from Pakistan, for example, you already need to have a visa to be able to do so, to be able to be here and register as a sole trader. That is the first obstacle on your journey here. You need first a visa to be here. So be it study visa, work visa, a sambo or partner, Swedish partner visa. And once you're here, then you can convert that visa into another type of visa and apply for other things. But as someone who's outside of Sweden, it's very difficult to come unless you are a highly skilled worker. So they have this highly skilled labor demand, this special visa for highly skilled workers. So if you would fit under that category, you can come and work in Sweden this way. But in terms of coming here from a non-EU country, the current situation, immigration laws and policies in Sweden is very troublesome. Specifically, if you're coming from a non-EU country, you need to find first another way to come to Sweden, not just to start a business elsewhere and try to register in Sweden. That's really challenging unless you have a lot of capital. Instead, I recommend you come through a normal, another regular visa, study, work, or otherwise, and then start your sole trader while you're already here, while you already have some type of status and connection to Sweden. Yeah, sorry if I can't be more help than that. Thank you so much for your comments, and I wish you the best of luck in your future ventures. Someone else said, it's Christina Com. Love your energy. Oh, thanks. This video though, like the first video I launched about starting a business in Sweden in 2024 in 10 easy steps. That video like took my breath out. I'm telling you guys, like I was huffing and puffing by the end of it. And it was mostly because I was excited to share my knowledge with you all, but also like that was a workout for me. Like I get really into things and, you know, the Italian hands come out and all of that. So I'm very happy that you love my energy. It's lovely to hear when people connect with me in some way. So thank you for that. At Daniel Jones 08W, you wrote, thank you for the video. It was very useful for me. And also thank you for being so perky and interesting. I've watched so many other videos on how this is done, but they are all so boring. So thanks for making it interesting whilst providing useful information. Thank you so much for this comment. This was so sweet. I love that you guys think I'm perky and interesting because yeah, I know. Like I looked before starting this channel, and specifically before starting to do more business content related things. I Googled. I mean, I went onto Google or YouTube and I checked like what is like, are people already talking about this? If yes, I didn't need to be out here like giving my perspective on things necessarily. But I Googled and there were barely any, first of all, any explanatory, you know, breakdown videos of how to register your business. But also most of the ones that did exist, they were either outdated. So it was from like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, or they were kind of like not as informative or as interesting as I wish that someone would have explained it to me when I was starting out and when I was, you know, trying to figure out my way through things as a first-time business owner. So yeah, I'm so happy that you guys are resonating with my content and you feel that the information is useful and yet still interesting and fun to watch. So thank you for that. So someone asks, oh yes, the same guy. Do you need to have a business partner? Or are you bored? You don't need to have a business partner. As I said in the previous question, it's not a requirement. You can own 100% of your limited liability company. Yes, I was just bored. I really wanted to have some people to have fun with. And I think starting a business can be a great way to build relationships and connections as well. So, you know, I see it every day with some of my friends who are entrepreneurs. They often complain about being very alone and feeling like, you know, they have all the responsibility and none of the fun. Co-founders also help you manage stress and kind of divide up tasks and responsibilities. Honestly, it just makes this whole process of starting something and trying to make it successful and work much easier. So that's why I recommend having co-founders, but you don't have to. You don't have to. At Sandip9897, you left a comment saying, hey, thanks a lot. At least how many people are needed to register an Actibula company? Can a single person register the AB company? Yes, as I just said. However, you need 2 people, the person you're registering, like it can be you, and you need a deputy board member who has a personal number. This is important. The deputy board member has to be a Swedish resident or citizen to have a personal number, which is the social security number here in Sweden. Someone else, I am Batman177, love your handle name, said, this is so much easier than the US, referring to how to start a business in Sweden. Aside from the agony of dealing with the bank process anyway. Yeah, totally. I think it is, the bureaucracy of it is just mostly about the banks, the financials, when starting a business from scratch in Sweden. But everything else, I do think it's very straightforward. Everything is digitized, so you can do everything just online. I do agree. It is easier than in other countries as well, not just the US, but in general. At Belly Love 3872. Which business ideas are best for Sweden? Well, this is a great question, but I'm not a fortune teller. I love tarot though. Since you're asking so earnestly, I would love to give you some suggestions, okay? So I would say betting on anything that would still have a demand within the next 5 to 10 to 20 years. And what this usually means is with the threat or, kind of the overarching cloud of AI falling onto business owners and employees and employers everywhere in the world, I would bet on things that you feel like this is a business idea that no matter which period of time or, technology development era we're in, this is going to be something people will pay for. I typically would say service-based businesses, like one of my current main businesses is a service-based business, because I have a hard time imagining a world where humans will prefer robots over human beings doing services for them. So that's one thing, service-based businesses, whatever that means. There's always the good old, mama and pop shop, which is, just a coffee shop, a restaurant. But, those are industries that always have low profit margins. So it's what's in it for you? What are you trying to go into business for? Do you want the freedom? Do you want the flexibility? If you're young, I often will say you can invest in a software or hardware business idea, because then you can go the VC route. You can get capital, maybe from investors, or going to an incubator, develop your business that way. And if you're still in your 20s, 30s, you have time to fail. So even if it fails and it all goes to crap, you can still come back up and do something else, and you would have learned through that process. But if you're more into your 30s, 40s, 50s, looking for stability, maybe looking for another source of income, I would recommend a more stable business form that you can start yourself just by saving up some money on the side. You don't need huge capital injection up front. Instead, you just start and you build something small, and you slowly have time to also make it grow. There's less risk associated with that kind of business idea, service-based business idea, as opposed to a product or hardware, hardware or software-based idea. So I think the things that they're not so good at here is I'm going to sound very stereotypical, but the more social aspects, right? Like looking to industries, for example, one of my businesses is in tourism. So why tourism? It's not because there's no tourists here. Yes, there isn't a lot of tourists, but it's really because the demand is there. People are traveling here to the Nordics, but the problem is the locals don't want to work on businesses that have the service aspect, because they don't like hanging out so much with random folks from all over the world, or maybe because they're a bit more reserved as a culture. So these are some ideas. Think about services that you don't think, one, have high competition or saturation in the market at the moment because Swedish people are not interested in building those businesses, or two, that you see demands for, you see that there's gaps to fill in, but, there's no solutions. There's no solutions. You have to bet on specific things that you think are going to stay the same. So if I'm saying I think human beings will always prefer, human being interaction. Our day-to-day lives would still be filled with human-based services where you go to the salon and you want to talk to the hairdresser who's a real person, or you go get your nails done and you want to talk to the person. These are some things that I'm just saying that like good business ideas in general for the world. But Sweden, since they also lack sometimes on this customer service, customer experience aspect, they're not as capitalized on here in Sweden and in the Nordics, then I would focus on things like that, bringing in that perspective. It also depends on where you're coming from. So whatever you bring with you, your own experience, your own cultural experience, background, bring that onto the table and see, okay, what can I leverage here that I feel like people will still pay for in 10, 20 years time because it will still be valuable. Someone else wrote, good job and thank you. Thank you. At Azalea, she wrote, what has been your biggest challenge when you're into the business? Ooh, like my most recent business that I started, Experience Stockholm. I mean, we've had a lot of challenges. I think that the highest priority for me at the moment is to overcome fluctuation in revenue. So, revenue is not always consistent. And in a service-based business, it really depends on demand. So you need to kind of offset some of the seasonality and some of that lack of demand with other sources of revenue, and knowing how to diversify your business model to be able to accommodate for that, or make your business model just more resilient in general. I think that's been a big challenge, and I'm excited to tackle it head on in 2025. Thank you for that question. I appreciate it. Someone else wrote at Bub and Code, thanks for a very helpful and informative and energetic video. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. That was a nice presentation. Okay, great informative video. I appreciate you guys always saying this. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting, enlightening, somewhat relevant to the questions you all asked. And if you have any other questions that you think I should be answering, please comment down below so I can make sure to address them in a future video. I will see you on the next one then. Bye.